All right, I am here in Toronto, joined by UFC light heavyweight and maybe a future pitchman for your product. He is Anthony Rumble Johnson. And Anthony, welcome to Toronto.
Thank you for having me back, man.
Is it a little bittersweet being up here, knowing that this was such a big fight for you, but you still get to come up here, see a lot of these fans that bought tickets to see you? I mean, it's got to be mixed emotions here this weekend.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm disappointed because I disappointed the fans. I didn't give them what they wanted. A lot of them bought tickets to watch me fight. Not just watch me fight, but watch the entire event. But I still wanted to come and support them, just like they supported me and showed them love. So it's been fun so far.
Is there any kind of a timetable that you've been given about? Do we know Daniel Cormier has had surgery now? Is there any update on the timeline of when this fight will take place?
No, I haven't heard anything. I think he had surgery. I'm not sure. But I know how painful a groin injury is. And he could be out for a couple of months. Obviously, it's all very difficult right in the middle of training. Did you just stop cold turkey at that point from training? What do you do when you get that kind of a news so close to a fight? Well, it was Thanksgiving Day whenever they told me, so I ate a lot of mashed potatoes, gravy, turkey, and everything else. But yeah, so far I just stopped cold turkey because I was training so hard already. My body was peaking big time. You know, I felt amazing. So, you know, you don't want to, overtrain anything like that. So I haven't been back in the gym since then. Just kind of like, relaxing and like traveling a little bit and just enjoying myself.
So talks never got serious about you staying on this card at heavyweight or doing anything?
Well, they wanted me to fight Mousasi, but that was just pointless to me. You know what I mean?
I completely agree.
I still had to lose weight. He basically just didn't have to do anything. If I would have beaten him, it wouldn't have meant anything because interim titles are really garbage, honestly. And if I would have lost to him, I would have lost everything I've worked for. So it wasn't. That whole situation was just not good.
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, is there some security in the sense that, I mean, there is no other contender but you. I don't see that there's any way you can make any other light heavyweight title fight without you part of that equation.
Yeah, I deserve it. I beat everybody that's basically around except for DC. Obviously I knocked out Glover, I knocked out Vader, I knocked out Gustafsson, I knocked out Jimmy Manuel. There's really nothing left for me to prove except to beat the champion, and that's it.
We got the news this week. Jon Jones, he got a 1-year suspension from the Nevada Athletic Commission, so he's allowed to fight come July. Is that a fight that is on your bucket list? It's certainly, I think for Jon Jones fights out there at 205, that's the fight people want to see, is you and Jones at some point down the line.
If it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
You're not clinging to that as necessary.
Yeah, I'm not hung up on anything like that. 'Cause Jon isn't in the picture right now, so I haven't thought about him. You know what I mean? And Jon is a hell of an athlete. He's still the pound for pound best fighter we've ever seen at light heavyweight. But he's the last thing I'm thinking about right now because he's not in the equation. You know what I mean? It's just me and Daniel, and that's it. And if it comes to Jon, if he's around by the time, Daniel and I fight, then, if it comes down to it and he's the only one left, then yeah, we'll have to fight.
Would you be comfortable with him getting a title fight right away when he comes back?
No.
He needs to earn that shot.
No, everybody needs to earn the shot. You know what I mean? Yeah, of course he needs to earn this. But of course, it's not like anybody out there that he hasn't beat. You know what I mean? And whenever everything was going on, I was supposed to, fight. It was up in the air who's going to fight Daniel, me or Jon. I'm like, well, why don't I fight Daniel like I'm supposed to? Jon needs to work his way back up. Why doesn't he fight Gustafsson and give him his rematch like Gustafsson wanted? So it just would have made, put all of us on the card and make it basically a light heavyweight tournament. You know what I mean? The fans would have loved that. So, yeah, I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, man.
Final thing here. You were recently on the MMA Hour, and Ariel had given you a comment that your manager, Glenn Robinson, had made about staying in this industry as long as Anthony Johnson is there. Have you since spoken to Glenn? Has he clarified what he meant by that statement? Because you seemed a little put off that he made that statement.
I was very surprised whenever Ariel told me that. Glenn texted me probably later on that day, and he explained it to me, and I didn't even reply to it. I just didn't want to go down that road. You know what I mean? And he didn't say anything mean or disrespectful. He was just explaining the situation. And, you know, that's between him and Ariel and myself. I'm not the one to really go out there and put people's business out in you know, in social media anywhere.
Fair enough. Well, Anthony, it's great that you were able to come up here in Toronto. We're looking forward to that fight eventually with Daniel Cormier, and thank you very much for the time.
Thank you for having me, man.